Hello everybody, this is Melissa with Enchanted Emerald bringing you your daily reading today for April 11th, 2022. As always, as we get started here, I use the traditional Rider-Waite deck for my readings, and today out of the deck we have the Eight of Pentacles. What I'm really feeling with this is today we have a turning point taking place in which you've come to some sort of a realization that it is no use trying to rush to get to your goal. You realize that along the way, yeah, there's inevitably going to be some mistakes that are going to be made, and you come to the conclusion that there is no need to rush things because you can't rush great things. You simply cannot rush that. And so you have come to a place where you are approaching your projects, your goals, your vision with a sense of an inspirational measure that you are knowing your worth, knowing you can achieve these dreams, where you might have shifted from a place where you were once in a space where you were kind of white knuckling it along the way, kind of hanging on for dear life, hoping things were going to work out, not quite knowing how things were going to work out, of course, relying on our faith, right? And so, this whole notion that slow and steady wins the race is kind of taking over, and you're allowing yourself to sit in a space where you're going with the flow a little bit more, right? You're very focused, though. You've decided that I'm going to just stay focused on what I want and what I need to do to get there, and you're focusing on the very simple steps that you need to do each and every single day, or every single step, to get yourself to a place where you're feeling confident and comfortable, right? You're not focusing so much anymore on the bigger picture and wanting that, right? You're getting satisfaction out of every single step that it takes to get you there. You're finding joy in that, and you're enjoying the process, even though it is a lot of work, and you're putting all of the effort into it, you're putting all the hard work into it, you're realizing that as you're putting more and more effort into that, you're appreciating that more, and you're starting to demand more from yourself too. I think you have a certain set of expectations for yourself. You're trying to push yourself to achieve more, to go beyond, to go higher, right? And so as you work through some of these smaller goals to get to that bigger goal, you're getting to a place where after each step or each level that you're accomplishing these things, you're starting to maybe push yourself in terms of what expectations you've placed upon yourself, right? You're demanding more from yourself, right? And so this is where you're stepping into your power to achieve these dreams, right? Because you are putting in all of this work. You realize that, listen, nobody has ever stood where you have stood before. Now, I can say that and mean this from a very literal sense, and that you are the only person that experiences your path from your shoes, right? So nobody can tell you how to do it. Nobody can tell you how to get there. Nobody can push you or expect more from you, or to set your sights higher, or know what vision is the right vision for you, right? Only you can do that. But I can also say this in a different way, and that I'm saying that from possibly in a familial way, meaning that when I say nobody has stood where you stood before, perhaps you're really pushing yourself to these lengths because you're setting yourself up for more and more success than has ever been achieved before in your family. And you're really proud of yourself for that. And I think that that's great. Um, and you're really happy, and you're happy to share this success and this happiness with those in your family. People are very proud of you because this hasn't happened for those that have come before you. However, this is something to note here and to extend gratitude that your ancestors, those that have come before you in your family and in your lineage, they've kind of paved this way of success, that paved this path of success for you, right? And so allowing yourself to extend gratitude to them for this. This has not been an easy feat for you. Understand that along the way there's been sacrifices by your ancestors, or maybe things that they've learned, tips and tricks along the way that have been like little tidbits of wisdom that have been passed down to you that you are now benefiting from. Whatever that looks like for you, this is very important for you to allow yourself to extend that gratitude to your ancestors for the success that you have and will have, right? And so, I feel like you're in a space now where others are kind of looking on and like, wow, this is really great. I'm so happy for you, where there's this like admiration. And what you've done is very admirable, right? And I think that there's been like a marked improvement from where you have been to where you are now. And you see that, and others are seeing that. Like, others are starting to take notice. They're seeing a shift in your energy. They're seeing a shift in how you carry yourself. They're seeing a shift in how you've been maybe a little less available to spend time with them or to do some fun things, because you're very focused and you're very committed right now on your goals and you're working hard. Or perhaps they're seeing some of that. Maybe it's the other end, right, where they've seen some of this start to pay off, where you are able to go out for a nice dinner once in a while, and you have the ability to stay focused and be present when you are with them. But they know that your hard work is starting to pay off, and that you're able to go to like nicer places to eat, right? Because this Eight of Pentacles is bringing in more and more success as you're doing these things. And so I do feel as though, perhaps you can get a little bit hard on yourself. And I feel with this is that maybe somebody has come to you and kind of like warned you. Or perhaps you've said to yourself, like, man, I wish that this had come with some sort of a warning label, like, in terms of situations kind of getting to a place where they are explosive, whether that is the mistakes that you're making along the way, or like opening up a can of worms somehow, like, whether it's in conversations, whether it's in actual work that you're doing where you're making mistakes and you're like, oh man, I just took 10 steps back and now I have to start again, where you're like, I wish somebody had warned me about this. But I just feel like there's this presence of maybe perhaps someone from like the other side, even just kind of hanging over you in spirit, like, don't say I didn't warn you, because I feel as though somewhere along the way, in that wisdom that's been offered to you from your family or something like that, that it has come to you, that these warnings of like, gosh, you will make some mistakes along the way, or like, it's not always going to be easy, it's not always going to be smooth sailing. But when those mistakes happen, you just see the mistakes and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so frustrating. And that's okay. Know that this is all purposeful, and that you will come back stronger than ever, and it'll propel you further on your path, and you'll learn more about yourself as you're going along. These mistakes, when you make them, are going to help you in terms of how you grow within how you do your work, within how you interact with other people, within your own personal beliefs. I feel like you're working through some emotions when you're doing some of this hard work, working on your goals, working on your vision, right? And so, I feel as though some of this hard work is working through some of these beliefs, right? When you're making those mistakes, you could be questioning yourself, like, gosh, can I do this? Am I built for this, right? You start to question everything when you make those mistakes. And that is all purposeful, and that it's coming up for you to realize that you can get through this. You can come to the other side of this. And I'm getting big chills with this. So definitely validation, that you can let go of some of those beliefs that you're kind of clinging to that you don't even know that you're clinging to, but they're there subconsciously, and that they can hold you back in the end if you're not working through that as you're making some of those mistakes, because we all make mistakes. And as you, I mean, any process that you're going through, any experiments that you're going through, any work that you're doing, right, to err is human. So I do feel as though you're to a point where it's almost like there's no, because again, we said that you've made it to a turning point, so there's no turning back, right? And I feel as though it's almost like it's all downhill from here. I just feel like you're to a point where if you just keep going, things will work out for you. But I think that there's a place right now where there's this feeling, this like sinking feeling, where you, if you were to quit now, it could be done. Or you have this feeling like, I don't know if I can do this, right? But pushing through that, push past that, because it really is, you are on the downswing of that, where you're on like a roller coaster where you're about to pick up speed now because you're going downhill, and things are going to really work out for you. And I'm getting big chills again, big validation there for you for that. So big things coming in. So again, um, and when we talk about spiritual stuff, we usually say that it's really good to surrender. And when we talk about surrender, it's like give it to God, right? Leave our expectations up to God. Surrender our control. We can't control the situation. We can't control how things show up for us. Going with the flow helps us to manifest better, right? But with this, I feel it's like no surrender, right? Like not waving the white flag. We're going to push through this. We're going to do the darn thing, right? Because you're dedicated. And, I feel like with this, you come out on the other side of this with a firm grasp on the situation, like a firm grasp in terms of understanding. So you really have this true understanding of the situation, not just the big picture, but of what's going on, an internal emotion situation that's happening, what's happening on a grand scale in the scheme of things, in terms of all these small goals that you have to achieve in order to get to the big goal. And I feel like along the way, Spirit's kind of showing me this like penny, nickel, dime, quarter, and then the quarter just kind of lingered in my third eye, like clairvoyantly they were showing me this quarter, and it stuck there for just a little bit. So I feel like with this, possibly you're like a quarter of the way there, and I know that doesn't really seem like it's downhill from here, but when you're picking up speed, that could happen pretty quickly, or it could happen by the end of the year. We're thinking April, we're in April right now, right? So big changes could be coming in for you. It's really symbolic of the luck that you have on your side, and I love that so much. But I also feel with that growing in the coinage is it's very symbolic of you having grown in your value, right? Where people see your worth and they see your contributions to projects. They see your contributions perhaps even in your perspectives in interactions and in the overall system, right? And you also see your own worth in that. And so I feel like this is coming to a place where that's where that admiration is coming in from other people, because they see your growth and they're drawn to that. And it's an energy that you carry yourself with, and it's really it's a great energy. People love it. And so I feel like this is just attesting to your beliefs here. Perhaps initially when you first started out and you took that first step and you were working on your first small goal, right? Maybe you didn't really believe in yourself. Perhaps you lacked that overall self-belief. And now you're coming into a space where you're growing in your confidence, you're growing in your skill, and you're really not questioning it anymore. You're really not questioning, is this the path for me? Or you're really not questioning, can I do this so much anymore? You just know this is what you should be doing. This is what you know you want to do, so you're committed to it. And this can only lead to success. So beautiful read that we have here for this evening. I do so hope that this resonates for you. And again, as always, if you're interested in your own personal reading, I'd love to be able to do that for you. You can always hit me up on the Square site, book a session with me, and it's pinned in the description box below here on YouTube or at the top of my page if you're catching me on the Facebook. As always, I will be back with another read for you guys again soon. Thank you so much. Take care.